I want to see Brendan do the Bart's jumping up scared thing.
I want to see him tap his head.
But unfortunately, Pokemon protagonists will never do anything besides look straight ahead of them.
Yeah, you want to talk about presentation problems of 3D Pokemon games. Look at Gen 6 and 7, which are trying to have serious stories, but are constantly zooming in on the protagonist's low resolution, constantly smiling face. Look, bitch, not you, bitch. Look, bitch, I've leveled up twice. I'm gonna fucking win this time. If I still lose, then this game is rigged beyond belief. I was thinking about this where, silent protagonists can be pretty cool. I think Red is a cool protagonist, only taking Gen 2 into account, where you play the entire game as a silent protagonist, and then at the very end of Gen 2 you fight Red and he's still silent, but he's by far the hardest trainer in the game.
That's not even really has anything to do with the fact that he's silent, though.
Well, it's like, it's... A silent protagonist by itself is just like whatever, that's like standard. But it's the fact that he's an enemy and also he was a playable character.
I think the coolness of that moment to me would come from the fact that you get there and then you're like, so was I playing as like a legendary fucking being before? Ancient Cthulhu's cavern creature?
I mean, another thing about it is that, like, because Gen 1 is Gen 1, and it's like an unbeatable, amazing game to the audience and Game Freak's eyes, they keep bringing Red back.
Which one is unbeatable?
Just Gen 1 as a whole, where it's like, in Gen 8, which was the Dexit game, the only starter from previous games to come back was fucking Charizard, because it's Charizard.
Right. I mean, would you delete Charizard?
I would, yes, if it's either all starters or none of them. Picking and choosing the starters.
I feel like it should be all of them and that's it. I feel like none of them shouldn't be an option either.
I think it would be better if it's consistent. Like, if it's a... Like, you have the Gen 1 and Gen 2 starters, but not the Gen 3 or Gen 4. Like, picking and choosing in the same generation is... It's too far for me.
Is it because they're gonna put it into the freaking super duper third version, or what?
Hell if I know.
Did the DLC for Sword and Shield bring everybody back?
No, there still hasn't been another game with all the Pokemon in it. And at this point, I don't even know if it's possible, because there's so many alternate forms and, like, weird shit. Also, I won.
No, that was easy.
I over-leveled enough that it was a non-issue. I got lucky with Magneton finally hitting itself with confusion and staying asleep for long enough. Alright, Rock Smash is a fucking HM. The worst. Well, it's not the worst HM. Flash still takes that.
Okay, good news.
Yes.
I beat Yoshi's Fruit Adventure on the second try. I remembered that the spin jump exists. That was our see. One of the main problems with me and Gavin's whole playthrough is that we thought the spin jump sucked, so we never used it.
How could you think that? It's literally the best way to move around.
Because we just wanted to dive everywhere, I guess.
I mean, it is a little difficult to do, but that's like the only thing about Mario's moveset that I do like is the addition of the spin jump. I hate the FLUDD, so don't even get me started on the FLUDD.
The thing is with this game, here's the way I feel about it is like, in general, jumping around and stuff is fun when you get used to it. But if you're ever in the air, nothing will ever go how you want it to. I don't even believe that speedrunners can fully grasp Mario's aerial movement in this game.
I'll give you that Sunshine is at least better than Galaxy and the 3D Land, 3D World, but I just hate FLUDD. I hate that it indirectly gutted Mario's moveset because of its existence.
That's another reason I kind of like this game, is because you can, kind of like 64, but even more so, you can see where you want to go and like carve out a really janky path there.
That is one thing that, even though Odyssey does have a good playable Mario, it does not really have that. Odyssey isn't nearly jank enough to allow for things like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Odyssey is just everything you do in Odyssey is so rigid. Everything is capped heavily.
Yeah, it's like the one thing you can do is the cap throw, air dive, land on the cap, throw it again, jump again thing. That's the one thing that Odyssey
But even
has.
then, it's not that fun because you can't actually gain momentum in any way.
Yeah.
Gavin was telling me there's some glitch you can do to like actually gain momentum.
You know about the wind straits?
No.
But it's a family of trainers that fight you one after another, and they all have V names. And when you talk to them, once you beat them all, they're all like, "Oh, you might have beaten us, but you'll never beat my son / my brother or whatever, who depending on who you talk to." And then you get to Victory Road, and there's an ace trainer whose name starts with a V, and he's actually pretty high leveled for where in the game he is. But his dialogue is like, "Man, my family's gonna hate me." Or something, I don't know. But yeah, that's a cool little like thing in this game, is recognizing that he's the wind straight.
Is that in any other game?
Not that I know of. I'm even more surprised that it actually made it past the localization process. It feels like usually things like that don't survive localization because it's like not clear that it's supposed to be a reference.
With Nintendo games, the localizers actually like work with the developers, so they actually know what's going on. I guess I don't know.
Except when it comes to Fire Emblem.
I think that's because that's second party technically. Oh yeah, throw a ball at them.
We'll see if that thing I read is actually true. Alright, throwing the ball. Don't be a thief. Alright, well, nothing happened so far. The dialogue either comes after the battle is over or when you get reported on the TV.
Okay, I need you to describe why the fuck you tried to steal my goddamn animals.
Cries.
Cry.
I should have just said Butterfree. Yeah. They introduced the running shoes and they introduced trainers that look at you when you run in the same game. How progressive.
According to like the key art for this game, I guess it's supposed to be like wherever you are in Hoenn, you can see Mount Chimney.
Yeah, but considering the camera angle of the game, it doesn't really come off that way. Fiery Path, the most incidental area in this game.
I don't even recognize that name.
You're in here for like 5 seconds, and I feel like it's the only area that has this like smoky effect coming off the ground. You can go left to get some items if you have strength, but there's nothing in here otherwise.
Any game that makes you solve puzzles with huge amounts of random encounters is dire.
Gotta hand it to Pokemon for at least giving you an item that prevents random encounters.
But then it gives you that weird dilemma on whether you want to scam yourself or not.
In terms of being a beginner game to RPGs, it does do a good job at that. With all of the items that are, like, you don't feel bad about using them, and also they're easy to understand and find. Slugma balls.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
That's what the guy said when you beat him?
Yeah. It's a very progressive game.
Oh, maybe he learned about you threw the ball at the reporters and he was just commenting on it. I still don't really know anything about it.
I don't think there's anything to know other than that it was like worse than No Man's Sky in terms of being a scam game, but I mean it seems it's all the same to me. Everybody's a sucker. Like, people saw the words open world zombie MMO and were immediately like, what the fuck?
Feels like there've been a million Kickstarters with that exact tagline.
I'm sure there have been. I don't know why this one in particular was so highly praised. How are people not sick of open world / MMO / zombie games and any combination of the three? Okay, wait, here's a TV. Let's see. Abra didn't do anything.
What?
Well.
Also, he broke the law.
I didn't break the law, I attempted to break the law. Why does this lady ask you if you want to stay again, and why does it default to yes?
Yes, town. Here's our impression of Supra. He's got that dog in him. That's all.
Cut to his sleeping Poochyena in this backpack.
Remember that thing where, like, allegedly in Fire Red, if you pirate it, it says, by the way, buy the game or die?
Yeah, I remember you... I think we talked about this in the Final Fantasy V stuff, where you said that it only says that because someone just edited the very last line of text and then distributed
it's not even... yeah, it's like, because it's just a ROM. But it's not even that's the very last line of text, it's that string of characters is the very last set of bytes in the entire ROM. Like, it's just literally glued onto the end, and when it gets to that text box, it just says a routine that says, read these fucking bytes right at the end.
Weird. I wonder if Safeguard is actually worth having.
Yes, probably. If you're the only guy in the whole party,
yeah,
you don't
in
want
a
to get
solo
statused.
run where I can't use items, it might actually be worth having.
The whole fucking reason we lost that one battle 3,000 times in a row is because Paralyze.
Yeah, I guess if I grinded to 40 and I didn't completely one-shot everything, it might have been worth it.
I like how I say we. As though I'm actually doing anything.
I'm not doing anything. Butterfree's doing all the work.
Yeah.
Also, this game's Pokemon, like gimmick Pokemon, is Spinda. There's like 1 billion of them.
Oh yeah.
Every generation needs a not useful at all gimmick Pokemon like Spinda. Ninjask is an okay Pokemon with one of the best abilities in the game. Well, I don't think it has it now. I think it gets that ability in Gen 5 when there's like hidden abilities.
What are you talking about? The thing where it can only get hit by super effective?
No, that's Shedinja. Ninjask eventually gets what the hell is it called? Speed boost, where it just gets a speed increase every turn. I wonder what the maximum critical hit chance you can get in post-Gen 1 games is between like high crit rate moves and focus energy, and anything else that might increase critical hit rate, like items.
Are they making another Garfield movie?
They are?
Yeah, it's Chris Pratt as Garfield.
Wait, that's real? I thought it was a joke, like an Onion article.
It is a joke.
I mean, it is a joke, but
it's also real.
It was not real and was a joke.
Why don't you make your own type?
I would. It would be sound, because everyone has already suggested that. I know the guy in this house who makes the flutes for you is, like, dying from being in a volcanic ash-ridden area for so many years. I spent so long trying to get those flutes, and it's so fucking stupid. This little route that's like 4 screens long is the only location of volcanic ash, and it takes hundreds of ash to get one flute. Why did they do that?
What are they for, even?
They all are battle items that cure status effects, I think. Or no, one of them's like the Poke Flute where it makes you wake up. One of them reduces the encounter rate. One of them raises it. Let's go see. Okay, he just tells you what you can make, but not.
Because I can just look it up.
Yeah, I only ever got one of the flutes as a kid, and it was probably the blue flute before I lost all my patience.
Does the black flute reduces encounter rate but increases the level of wild Pokemon? And white flute is vice versa.
That's interesting. I feel like it should be the other way around.
Yellow flute snaps a Pokemon out of confusion. Red flute snaps a Pokemon out of infatuation. And that's it.
When you go to a Pokemon's page on Bulbapedia, there's always a special section after battle and TM moves for tutor moves. And I don't understand it.
Let's find out. What is the Butterfree C? I'm trying to go to Butterfree's page. Butterfree C is
a trading card.
A location in Pokemon Rumble Rush. It's a whole goddamn island shaped like Butterfree.
Wow, that's so cool. He said with no enthusiasm whatsoever.
This game is for like Android and it looks like it's a WiiWare game.
It probably is.
Butterfree can get Dream Eater by Tutor.
What does that mean? I know it can learn Dream Eater by tutor, but what does that mean? Okay, I know that it can learn Dream Eater in Fire Red and Leaf Green, because you, like, sail to a dude, or surf to a guy in, like, Viridian City. Is he a move tutor? I thought he just gave you a TM that had Dream Eater on it.
If you plug into Pokemon XD, you can get Nightmare for Butterfree.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty sweet, actually. That's a really good move for Butterfree.
The free move tutors you can get in XD include Swagger and Self-Destruct. and Dream Eater. So yeah, okay, if we just go do some XD transferring, we can get Dream Eater.
You know, part of these series is I wanted to see if I could like have every Butterfree be like a unique moveset. I was gonna have the Fire Red Butterfree be the one with a Dream Eater, so I'll hold off on that, but I would want to get Nightmare just because that sounds interesting, but if that's gonna be a pain in the ass to get...
But how far in the game is Agate Village?
I think it's pretty early. I think it's the village where you like... It's like the grassy village where you learn about purifying shadow Pokemon.
Whoa, this game's map is actually really ugly.
The map?
Like the overworld.
Oh, when you're selecting an area to go to?
Yeah, there's like no shading on anything. It looks like a really early PC game with pre-rendered 3D.
Whoa, yeah, nothing has shadows or anything.
It just looks like a mess. Looks like a bunch of Gmon props laying around. Time to turn on Pokemon. Here, I'll make myself useful and get to the part of the game. And then send you the memory card, and then you plug it in, dude.
I know you're joking, but I wouldn't even want my worst enemy to do that.
I'm not joking. What else am I gonna do?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess go for it. Why not? Hopefully it doesn't count as cheating.
Did we sell Ruby? Or get rid of it, or what?
I remember we had 2 rubies at one point, and now we have none rubies.
Am I gonna not understand the story since this is the sequel?
XD?
Yeah.
The story of the first game is the protagonist was a member of Team Snag'em, or whatever the evil team was called. He defected and then went on a big journey to relieve the world of shadow Pokemon and purify them all. That's the story. And it really isn't more complicated than that.
Whenever I'm involved, some obtuse shit like this is gonna happen. That's what you should know.
Oh, it's Spoink, a Pokemon that has a weirdly fucked up, like, Pokedex entry. Whoa, Zanku says purple claws? I don't remember that.
Oh. Oh wow, I don't remember that either. Also, it looks at the camera.
Yeah, it was looking directly through me. Shout out to the one time the anime said that Seviper evolved from Arbok.
Which one of these Pokemon evolves into Seviper? If you chose Arbok, you were right.
You know, at least in Gen 2, they gave you an option to register them in the Poke whatever. But in this game, it's like, yeah, you're in my nav now, and you're going to listen whenever I call you to talk about the time I, like, saw a bird. Really starting to regret the whole no repels thing. But boy, do I want a shiny.
Yeah, why did you set that up?
As soon as I get a shiny, I'm going back to the repel thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. There's
once I catch one, once I catch a shiny, it's all repels all the time for me. I remember in Gen 6 how when you're walking, you're stuck to the grid, walking or running, but the game really early gives you the, what's it called, the roller skates.
Oh yeah.
So that you could just not walk on the grid, and I think that's honestly kind of cool. It's like, here, look what the game used to be, now here's what it is, but every game after it just lets you not walk on the grid freely, which is fine. You know, they made Steel type, which Steel is like a, it's a type that is mostly resistances. I think it's super effective against like 2 things, and it's hit neutrally by 2 things. But there's never been a type that's the opposite, where it's like super effective against everything, but it's also weak against everything. The closest is Shadow type moves in Colosseum and XD, where Shadow moves are super effective against everything except it's not very effective against itself. Also, I like they didn't actually animate Spinda like differently because they didn't know what to do about its spots. Like it doesn't have like a second sprite that it shifts between. It just bounces back and forth.
This game doesn't have a funny description.
On the memory card?
Yeah. Or no, on the, like, just the BIOS.
Oh.
There's no, like,
Alright.
high-speed battle with Sonic and Shadow. Ooh, that's not right. That doesn't look right. Beginny. What the hell is...
What's wrong with your game right now?
What the... Why is the A sliding... What is wrong with this game?
Now wait, are you streaming it to Discord? Oh yeah, you are. Oh yeah, what the hell is going on? Even though the main character of Coliseum only has a personality for the first, like, 30 seconds, that's at least something, and he has a cool design. The main character of XD is just some fucking punk kid like every other goddamn Pokemon game. Whoa, look at that Zigzagoon. I mean, Poochyena.
I'm just so confused. Why? How is this? It says this game is playable on the Dolphin. I thought Dolphin could play any game.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any weirdities.
Well, whatever. This will just add to the experience.
Also, this girl just said, I wish that there was more land so I could build a house. But it is a Gen 3 game, so it's more closely related to it than anything else. Whoa, those faces.
This is like a movie.
In Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, when they bring back every single, like, villain team leader, I wish they would have brought back the guy from XD and Coliseum, too. And his Pokemon was Shadow Lugia or some shit. Whoa, his HP is going for it. Oh my god, the numbers.
Changing.
I've never seen a GameCube game do this. Is it Mightyena or Mightyena? Whoa. Holy shit.
God damn.
That's crazy.
It's like... It's part of the theme of the game, I guess, because it's digital.
Yeah, it's all a simulation, but it's not a very good one.
Better stylistic decision than Persona 5.
Holy shit, you're so right for that.
Ooh, that was cool. This game's 60 FPS.
Alright, well this thing is gonna sand attack the shit out of me, so I'm gonna be here for the next 5 minutes. I haven't missed though, so good on Butterfree for having compound eyes. No, you bitch, don't use super potions.
Eevee is so...
Fuck.
Low poly.
Turf hair.
What does that mean?
I don't know. When Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out, you can like give those Pokemon hairstyles, and one of the hairstyles is this one, and for some reason people on Tumblr called it turf hair Eevee. This thing is definitely nice using a ground move on a flying type, idiot. This thing is definitely the Pokemon Snap N64 model, just higher poly. Like, it moves like that almost exactly in the first stage. Does Compound Eyes make me immune to sand attack or accuracy lowering thing? Because I haven't missed like anything. This is great. See, if you showed this, you could say this is like a creepypasta. Like, go post this on creepypasta.org or whatever. It's like, everything in XD was the same, except all the text was demented and it was bleeding. This music is pretty great.
Yes. I can't hear it, but yes, I know what you mean. Oh, it's freaking Ralts 2.
It's not Curlia, it's Ralts 2. Oh, here's where I can use the acro bike. I can go back up this stupid place.
Ah.
Also, here's a place where there's volcanic ash. I honestly forgot about this area.
I fixed it.
Oh, that's boring. You were just
I'd
gonna
rather
have
be able
it
to...
be like that?
Oh, it's still a little...
A little fucked up.
Strategy memo.
That XD just calls them Pokemon dollars. Like, it's not even abbreviated.
It'd be funny if we somehow found an excuse for me to play like every GameCube Pokemon game to get some dumbass item.
Play the European version of Channel to get me Jirachi. I remember getting the Jirachi event in Channel, and like every time I would turn the game off and turn it back on, it kept doing the Jirachi event, so I was thinking like, is this just the end of the game? Like, am I just stuck? Like, I can never watch TV with Pikachu ever again. I don't know how I fixed it.
I've definitely said this before. I still remember when I saw Dragon Quest Rocket Slime, the full page spread advertisement, and it showed all the monsters, and I was like, oh, I wonder which one of these is the main character. I bet it's this guy with like the horn on his head, and then it's the fucking blob.
Also, I think that flying should be super effective against fire.
This is like the Guilty Gear missions of Pokemon. What am I looking at?
Are you doing the like
Training
mission
programs?
mode? Yeah. There's a shit ton of those. There's like a bunch of optional battle CDs you can find that have like puzzle battles.
That one random Yu-Gi-Oh! GBA game we played had a mode like that where it sets up the board in a way and like it puts cards in your hand and it just says win on this turn, and you just have to like do some obtuse, crazy, sweaty ass, no fun mode play to like infinite combo victory.
Why do people play Yu-Gi-Oh?
It's a good question. If you go to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel reviews on Steam, everybody says Yu-Gi-Oh! Sucks now because you win on turn 1.
And that
Every
turn takes
time.
20 minutes.
I remember people saying, people who play the Pokemon TCG now, saying when the Pokemon TCG game came out on GBA Online, they were having fun with it because like just like doing 20 damage is a good turn.
Yeah.
And not like blowing up the Vatican has to be every turn.
That's like a problem with competitive games generally, and it especially happens with Pokemon, because every generation they have to introduce a legendary or pseudo-legendary that has like over 300 attack or speed or something. And it's weird to me that happens to card games.
Plus with Yu-Gi-Oh! Not only is there power creep, there's word count creep.
What do you have a Kecleon in a fucking fire gym?
For some reason.
How many fucking trainers are in this goddamn gym? I don't want to be in here any longer than necessary. Everyone just has a Numel.
Oh yeah, it was either this or Colosseum where apparently the composer composed all the music in like 10 days.
That's very surprising considering how good most of it is.
But then he becomes a green fuck, so it doesn't even matter.
He has this really neat or like interesting design with these cool special moves, and then he just turns into a Prinny. Like, seriously?
Also, he has a theme for some reason.
A very, very repetitive lyrical theme.
What the I have a moped now? Oh, good. Haunted.
Haunted? Moon's haunted. By the way, I'm fighting Flannery.
Cool.
Okay, I just critical hit that guy.
They're just gonna say I crashed. Why am I already at 75% EXP?
Because you beat one Pokemon.
You should be able to level down in Pokemon.
You can lower your EVs. Do you count that?
I get it. But now's not the time for jokes.
Right, sorry.
What is Sunkern? Is Sunkern just grass?
Yeah, it's also really terrible. Sunkern is probably one of the worst fully evolved Pokemon in the series. Sunflora is, I mean.
For some reason I feel like I'm playing a Persona game right now.
Because there's actual story.
Just like the weird character proportions and people just running around sliding to talk to you. I remember there was like a GIF or something that was like Persona 1 gameplay, and it was just that brick wall maze screensaver. Wouldn't it be great if in Cuphead that's all old-timey music, but then the final boss is just even flow or something?
Not a song like Even Flow or in the same genre.
It has to be licensed.
I don't know, Pokemon that learn strength. None of you fuckers can. I have to catch a new Pokemon for every single move that I need. May gives you the Go Goggles, and they protect your eyes from the sandstorm, which is fine. But what about like your mouth?
Yeah. Just close your mouth, dummy.
But we couldn't just do that for our eyes, I guess.
Hold the phone. Who's this babe? There's a freaking pine cone, man.
That's the first part of you saying that is like Chaos Wars dialogue. Hold the phone. Who's this babe? No, that's too much emotion. God damn it.
Yeah, no, that's why I said like
who's this babe?
That's the music.
In your game?
Yes.
It's pretty sweet. I kind of like this gym because it's like gimmick bullshit, but I'm probably too strong for the gimmicks to matter.
Snag machine.
Yeah, you get a sweet robot arm. That is by far the best part of that character's design, is when he has the robot arm.
Because in this game, Shadow Pokemon have a very distinct explanation. In Mystery Dungeon, because there's like wild Pokemon that you just mercilessly kill all the time.
Yeah.
There's like one offhand line in one of the games where somebody says those monster Pokemon in the dungeons are like manifestations of hatred or some shit.
What? Wait, they're not even real?
Like they're real, but not until you recruit them. Basically, it's one of the 3DS ones where the final boss of the game is just bad vibes, man. Gates is the bitter cold. Yeah, like the final bosses of Gates and Super are both not Pokemon. They're just weird
things.
like freaking eldritch horrors. But I kind of like how that's just kind of glossed over and you're just left thinking, wait, really?
Also, I walked into a room labeled Defense Room, and a Wigglytuff just double-edged the shit out of me.
Wigglytuff had the 3 mouth.
Well, I don't know what defense... I mean, Wigglytuff is, like, kind of bulky, I guess. One-hit KO room. I think I'll stay away from that one.
It's like human versions of the Bomberman 64 villains.